Hey internet, we've had a busy week. Our heads are collectively spinning so fast that they're ready to pop off and fly into space. So, before we go out this weekend, let's slow our spin roll down. Give me 4 minutes and I'll tell you the most important news of the past week. This is The Loop. By now, many of you are aware of the tragic Germanwings plane crash Tuesday morning in the French Alps. If you haven't heard about it, we covered it in this story here. We now know that the plane crash was deliberate. The flight's co-pilot, Andreas Lubitz, locked the pilot out of the cockpit of the plane and then intentionally and wordlessly set the plane into a deadly collision course with the face of a mountain. His motives are still unknown, but investigators have found that he was hiding an as-yet unnamed medical condition from his employer. Indiana signed a new bill into law yesterday that has spawned a firestorm of controversy over religious freedom and LGBTQ rights. The Indiana Religious Freedom Restoration Act, or RFRA, gives citizens and businesses the right to refuse services to others if they feel that it infringes on their religious freedom. Businesses like cloud computing company Salesforce and organizations like the NCAA have come out publicly against the act as they feel that it essentially legalizes discrimination against the LGBTQ community. However, what the bill's critics forget is that a similar act is already in place at the federal level, signed into law years ago by President Bill Clinton. Though these laws, yes, could be perverted by those who wish to discriminate against others, proponents of the law claim that they have less to do with gay marriage and more to do with setting a legal standard for protecting the rights of religious people. For example, the federal law protected a Philadelphia church's right to feed the homeless in city parks and a Muslim prisoner's right to grow a half-inch beard to better practice his faith. Indiana Governor Mike Pence says that he does not believe that the law is discriminatory. But what's to stop a person or business from denying services to, well, anyone they want as long as they can justify it within their religion? Not much. Meanwhile, in Arizona, a bill was just passed that requires medical professionals to tell their patients that their abortions can be reversed by Christian doctors. The law is largely political theater, sending the message that anti-choice politicians are saving pregnant women from their own flawed choices. Also, you can't reverse an abortion. It's impossible. You can't. And under the "of course, that's perfect" column, musician and famed pot smoker Willie Nelson is releasing his own brand of weed dubbed Willie's Reserve. He's just like Paul Newman. Willie's passionate about weed, and Paul Newman was passionate about lemonade, popcorn, and racially insensitive mustaches. Meanwhile, the DEA was busted this week for having sex parties with prostitutes bought by the Colombian cartel. Wait, guys, aren't you supposed to be like busting the cartel for all the drugs and the death and so on? Corruption! Ugh. The agents who participated were given suspensions lasting between 2 and 10 days because, come on, federal government, the prostitutes were free. It'd be rude not to have a wild orgy with them, right? Apple CEO and near-billionaire Tim Cook has announced that he's donating his entire fortune to charity. Can all billionaires learn from his example? That'd be pretty awesome. But for every company like Apple, there's a company like Radio Shack. Radio Shack, which filed for bankruptcy recently, sold all of its assets to its largest shareholder, hedge fund Standard General. Chief among those assets is your personal information. That's right, more than 65 million customer names and addresses, as well as 13 million email addresses now belong to faceless bankers. The sale could affect upwards of 117 million people, but may still be deemed an illegal sale by the Texas state court. Heinz and Kraft Foods, two of the largest food manufacturers on the planet, merged this week to form the Kraft-Heinz company, a massive food super conglomerate that includes brands like Heinz, Kraft, Oscar Mayer, Ore-Ida, Philadelphia cream cheese, Planters peanuts, and Velveeta. Whether this will be a good thing or a bad thing remains to be seen, but personally, I don't think that already massive companies need to get more massive. Maybe they need to take like a company diet, like maybe lose some building and some products and some power, please. And finally, what was popular this week? Kendrick Lamar topped the album charts once again, followed by the Empire soundtrack and the new Modest Mouse album, Strangers to Ourselves. Scandal and Better Call Saul once again topped the TV sales charts on iTunes, and Insurgent cleaned up at the box office last weekend, scoring a healthy $52 million domestically. And that's everything you need to know about what happened this week. So whatever you're up to this weekend, if you wind up in a conversation perhaps with Bae, you can speak proudly and confidently, because until next Friday, you're in the loop. Thanks for watching.